Okay. So we've got the code that, according to Gemini, should work as a live Bitcoin trading bot. If you're new here, make sure to check out my previous tutorials to see how we got to this point. Now, all that's left is to wait and see if it actually works. Fingers crossed. And no, looks like it's not working. That's a bummer, I had high hopes. Alright, time to tackle the problem with Gemini. But don't worry, I'm going to speed up the bug fixing process for you, because, spoiler alert, this first bug definitely won't be the last one we run into before we get the bot up and running. But trust me, we will make it work. Now, as I work through this, I'm going to add some music to keep things lively. You can watch me and Gemini working side by side, solving problems, fixing mistakes, and so on. I won't be commenting much during this part, though. Turns out, I'm not the best AI multitasker. I can either talk to you or talk to Gemini, but not both at the same time. Apparently, I can't sound intelligent while juggling. Or maybe I could, but it's just a lot of talking, and I'd rather get to the point. Okay, maybe that was a bit too much talking. So, feel free to watch this bug-fixing chapter if you want, but if you're just here for the outcome, go ahead and skip to the next chapter where we finally get the bot working using the XGBoost machine learning technique to buy and sell Bitcoin. Either way, I hope you enjoy the tutorial. So, let the music and bug fixing start. So as you might have noticed, the first bug fix wasn't enough and here we have another one. So, basically this time Gemini pointed out that the error happens because we're using an outdated method, get latest crypto quote, from Alpaca's API. It doesn't exist in our current version, these are classic API update problems. But no worries. Gemini suggests switching to get crypto snapshot, which gives us the latest price and other useful data. If that doesn't work, we've got a backup with get latest crypto trade. Worst case, we fall back on the latest bar close. I'm making these changes now, so let's see if this fixes things. Fingers crossed, but I'm ready for more bugs if they pop up. Alright, so we've made the changes, but we're still running into an issue. Looks like the get crypto snapshot method doesn't accept the exchange equals CBSE argument anymore. Apparently this is due to a change in Alpaca's newer API versions, where they handle the exchange routing for us. Gemini's got a solution, we just need to remove the exchange equals CBSE from our API calls. Simple fix, but it's important to stay on top of these updates so our bot keeps running smoothly. I'll update the code, and we should be good to go. We'll see about it. The fallback logic also needed a tweak since the featured data doesn't include the raw close price. Now, if the snapshot fails, we'll just fetch the latest minute bar directly, much more reliable. Let's run this again and see if the issue is cleared up. So next, we hit another snag, our bot was buying multiple times in a row, even though it shouldn't have. I thought it might be a logic issue with how the position was being checked, so I reached out to Gemini for advice. It suggested using a flag for pending orders, which sounded cool, but I wasn't completely convinced that was the real issue. Then, remembering something from our earlier tutorials about Alpaca's symbol difference, maybe you remember it as well, yes, Alpaca uses BTC/USD for placing orders and simply cust without slash for checking positions. I pointed that out to Gemini, you'll see that in a moment, and after a bit more back and forth, we updated the code to reflect that. But honestly, we still can't be 100% sure this will fully solve the issue. I guess we'll just have to keep testing and see if the bug finally disappears for good. Fingers crossed. So I guess, what I can say now is only that, keep watching and we'll finally get there. And here we go again. That's just unfortunate. After all that effort with copying and pasting, yet another issue pops up. But hey, we're almost there, right? Still, I had to reach out to Gemini once again to figure out what went wrong this time. Here's the error I got. Name, current price, is not defined. I pasted that into Gemini and they came back with a key change. It moved current price equals none to the beginning of the check and place trade function. This ensures that current price is always defined, even as none, within the function scope, before any attempts to assign it later on. This change prevents the name error, so the next time we check for the price, it will either be valid or none, but won't throw that error again. Fingers crossed this does the trick, but we still can't be 100% sure this will fix everything yet. However, I think we're almost there. And yes, I'm saying this as I'm editing, so there might be some data leakage or extra insight that I didn't have during the live part of the tutorial, so don't ask me what I was thinking then. Anyway, let's continue. Yep, not the last error. So, after fixing that last bug, we got hit with another issue. This time, the bot kept throwing the error, could not obtain a valid current price for BTC/USD after several attempts. I pasted the error into Gemini, and it came back with a fix, adding detailed debugging to the check and place trade function. This new code logs each price fetching attempt, so now we can see exactly where things are failing. Gemini also suggested checking things like API permissions, rate limits, and the symbol format. Fingers crossed that this will get us closer to solving the issue, but we're still not completely sure it'll fix everything. Let's see what happens next. Yeah, as you can see, I totally got lost in the process. There was just too much copying and pasting for me to keep track of. I guess that's why tools like Cursor, Windsurf, and others, which can directly modify the code, are probably a lot better at handling this stuff. But since I'm not using those, I decided to ask Gemini for help one more time. I just wanted it to put everything together for me in one go so I wouldn't have to hunt down all the changes. Does that make me smart, lazy, or just an old-timer who doesn't use the newest tools? Guess we'll never know, right? Anyway, let's see the outcome in a moment. Okay. One last time, Gemini, help. There is yet another issue. So yeah, we had to call Gemini back into action, and here's why. The bot tried to sell all of its bitcoins, but there was a tiny hiccup. It had 0.00284407 bitcoin, but it tried to sell 0.00284441 bitcoin, just a smidge more than what it had. The rounding got in the way, and the API wasn't having it. Insufficient balance, it said. Gemini's solution? Simple. When you're selling bitcoins, always make sure you're using exactly what you have, no extra decimal points. That way, everything runs smoothly. Pretty straightforward, right? So, why didn't you Gemini think of that sooner? Anyway, better late than never, thanks. Now, let's fix it and see if this is the last problem with our live Bitcoin trading bot, or if there's more drama waiting around the corner. And that's it. Now, all the bugs seem to be fixed. Let's run it one more time and see what happens. By the way, how did you like the music and the bug fixing process? Do you think I should include parts like this in future videos? Or would you rather I just cut to the working code and skip all the troubleshooting? Oh, and the music is from Clipchamp, so, you know, it is what it is. But maybe in the future, I'll try some AI-generated music, like from Suno or something similar. But for now, we've got our working bot, that's awesome. And the best part? We almost didn't have to write any code or be coding experts to get here. Now, that is the future. Thanks, Gemini. So, Gemini, what do you think about that? This is fantastic, says Gemini. I agree. And let's see what else Gemini has to say now. So, basically Gemini tells us that the bot is now functioning as expected. It's correctly submitting sell orders without any balance issues, tracking positions accurately, and only executing trades when the confidence threshold is met. The price fetching is consistent, and the bot is behaving logically according to our strategy. We've got the core mechanics working well, which is a huge win. Now, the next step is to run it in paper trading for a longer period, see how it performs, and gather data on things like profitability and trade frequency. We can then refine the strategy by adjusting thresholds, tweaking target variables, and possibly adding features like stop loss or take profit orders to protect our gains. It's all about continuous improvement, and we're on the right track. If you want to read all of that, it'll be on my site. Okay. So now that we have our working bot that's able to buy and sell Bitcoin, and, unfortunately, lose money, but hey, it's learning, right? We can move on to the next phase that Gemini proposed at the start of this journey. Step 7, Risk Management. In this step, we'll focus on adding some crucial stop-loss functionality to our bot to minimize losses. Because, let's face it, no one wants a bot that just keeps throwing money away. As usual, we'll copy and paste the code that Gemini has prepped for us, and ask it to make the necessary adjustments to integrate it into our bot. Let's see how this goes. And there we go. I've got to say, I'm really enjoying the way we're doing coding these days. It's like the code is practically writing itself. Well, I mean, Gemini, Claude, and even ChatGPT are doing most of the heavy lifting, while we just watch and adjust things here and there. It's so much faster than the old days when people had to write everything from scratch, don't you think? And yeah, tools like Cursor, Windsurf, and others are making things even quicker, but I've gotta admit, there's something satisfying about working alongside Gemini, copying and pasting the code ourselves. It feels like we're still in control, and there's a certain value in that. For example, here we can choose how much of a percentage our stop loss should be. Right now, it's set to 1%, but since we copied and pasted the code ourselves, we know we can tweak this at any time without needing Gemini to rewrite or regenerate the code. And also, let's be real, it's still a little early to trust the bots completely. It's important to understand what's in the code they give us. This is good practice for the future, especially if we ever reach the point of AGI, artificial general intelligence, or even ASI, artificial superintelligence. You'll want to know what's happening under the hood, so we can avoid becoming just passive tools in the hands of AI. Plus, it's better for our learning. If you don't even have to copy and paste, or if you're just blindly copying and pasting without understanding what's going on, like we're totally doing right now, right? The learning curve becomes way less steep. Some people may just want an AI-powered trading bot without diving into the details, and that's fine, but here, we want to know a bit more about how things work behind the scenes. Anyway, as you can see, Gemini has set us up with a pretty solid framework to add stop-loss functionality to our bot. So let's dive in and see if we can stop those losses. Okay. I mean, let's see that in the next part of this tutorial, because I think that's enough for now. Let's wrap it up for now, and we'll dive into the next part of the tutorial soon. Of course, if you're eager to try things out for yourself, you can find the code on my website and test it out. And hey, if something doesn't work, don't hesitate to ask Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT, or your AI of choice for help. They might even fix it for you. But, if you're just here to watch me do my thing, which is mainly copy-pasting code, let's be real, then stick around for the next tutorial. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one, drop a comment if you feel like it. And now, as I always say, remember, improve yourself, improve your business, improve the world, but also, live and have fun while doing it. Yours. Super AI.